anything I say. So, I am trying to go live on um, Facebook and YouTube at the same time. So, we'll see if this actually works or not. So, thank you for joining me. Today, we're going to gather lightheartedness, happiness, and joy. So, I want you to think of a time when you were little. Think of a time when you laughed, maybe seeing a kitten or your friend do something silly, or you heard a silly joke. You know, little kids. One of my favorites when I was little was where do teachers keep their armies? Or whatever group you want. Where do uh, artichoke farmers keep their armies? Where do French people keep their armies? Well, the answer is in their sleeveys. Don't you keep your armies in your sleeveys? Another one I liked when I was little was, have you had your eyes checked lately? Well, mine have always just been blue, so not checked. Think about a time, it could be so silly when you were little, any time, and relive that time. You might even close your eyes and hear it, see it, feel it, maybe smell it or taste it if it was your birthday cake, which isn't always silly, but sometimes it is. My little brother, we were going to my grandmother's house, and my mom had the cake on the floor in the front seat, near the front seat, and my brother was little. So it was time to get out of the car, and he just stepped onto his birthday cake. It's like, okay, birthday cake's now this big. So we all had little tiny pieces of birthday cake, which is okay. Anyway, when we come across life lessons and negative emotions, we often stuff them and hold them instead of being aware and recognizing the emotions and honoring the lessons and then letting them go. No, we stuff them and keep them instead of just letting them flow through. My friend Sylvia would say, be a tube. Okay, you recognize that emotion, you recognize that lesson, then let it go. And especially if it's not your stuff and you keep it, don't do that. So, one way to let go of these negative thoughts, negative emotions, is to use a sense of humor, which is being lighthearted. Laughter dispels karma, laughter dispels negativity. So, let me tell you a story. I taught school for a while, and I was attending a school assembly. My class was seated, and I brought my cape with me in case it got cold. So I stand up, I unfold my cape, and just before the performance begins, I see my underwear is sticking to my cape with static cling. There's only about 600 people watching or potentially watching. That was embarrassing, but you've just got to laugh. Have you had a silly, embarrassing moment that you recall? Sometimes it's not so humorous at the point in time when it first happens, but it is humorous later. So, embarrassing at first and then humorous. What is it that makes you laugh? What is it what experience did you go through that helped to make you laugh? So, hi, Julia. Hi, Hilda. Nice to see you. I can finally see comments. Yay. Okay. So, a sense of humor allows us to feel love. And when you share laughter and love with others, that helps. When you make someone laugh, you fill up their joy cup, which is a good thing. Feeling joy is so much better than feeling anxiety, feeling negativity, feeling the yucky stuff that's going on. Okay, my system says that my key rate frame is too low. I don't know what that is, so I'm not taking care of it right now. Maybe Your body, your vehicle you came into life with makes you laugh. Have you ever been walking along and all of a sudden you just turn your ankle for no good reason? Or your knee gives out for no good reason? You just gotta laugh. It's like, "What? Why did I do that?" It's a whole bunch better than getting upset. Remember, we're not perfect. We're not perfect. Maybe you are double jointed and you entertained your friends with your antics when you were younger, or maybe you do it now. Don't take life so seriously. Enid, minister, used to say, don't sweat the small stuff, and everything is small stuff. Whatever you're worried about right now, in 5 years or 10 years, will you remember that current problem? Probably not. There's not that many really serious things. And if you make a mistake, if you do it wrong, if you need to repeat it, okay, then you do. Don't worry about it. We take everything so seriously. Think of being the observer in your life. If you think of yourself outside your body, like beyond your body, here's your body, here's your electrical emanation, your aura, and it's like you're watching. And sometimes when you watch what's going on in life, it's amazing how funny it could be and how you can just let this stuff go. You know, when that mean kid comes up and says something mean to you, or that mean relative comes up and says something mean to you, and it's like, that's only the 700th time they've said the same mean thing to me. It's like, I'm still alive. I'm still surviving. I'm just not going to pay attention to you. Maybe there was a psychologist on Facebook the other day. They were doing little clips. And she said, you have many ways to react to something. So if somebody says something mean to you, one thing she does is she turns to them and says, are you all right? Like, oh, they must have said something that was just crazy and not acceptable. Or just look at them and then walk away, like ignore them. I remember a psychologist when I was teaching school would say, extinction, just don't pay attention to them. Don't make them important. Don't give them any attention, and it will often extinguish their behavior. When you get in a whirlwind of your problem and you think about it, then you're focusing on your problem. The more energy you put in the problem, the more you're programming for it to continue. So instead, do something else. Go watch Facebook funny videos on puppies or little kids laughing. If you watch those movies on little kids, babies, just laughing, often it just brings lightness to your heart. So that's a good thing to do. Do you have an unusual body part? The edge of my shoulders are pointed right here, which is an unusual body part. On holidays, my family tended to compare body parts. So for some odd reason, somebody would say something about, is your ear like close to your head or not close to your head? And then we'd examine everyone who was there. Okay, how close is your ear to your head? Or is your ear small? Is your ear bigger? Is your ear growing? Etc., etc. Well, we compared fingers. Do your fingertips meet at the end or do they V out like mine do? Can I put it over here, wherever it is? You can see it. Can you roll your tongue or can you not roll your tongue? That's a genetic trait. And so is this. You either got the gene to roll your tongue or you didn't get the gene to roll your tongue. Can you flip your tongue over? That's another genetic trait. Not a real important one to get through life, but it can be amusing. So comparing body parts can make you laugh, and silly differences. So laughter also lets toxicity drop away from your body. There have been research studies on people with heavy illness like cancer. And when they use laughter, when they watch funny movies or whatever, when they're getting chemo or just throughout the day, it helps them to get better. Laughter dispels the negativity. You know that research, I forget that guy's name. Um, there is a Japanese man who did some research on water. And he would say mean things in front of the water and then make a crystal, freeze the water, drop some drops of water on his microscope slide, and then look at it. And if mean things were said, the crystal would be yucky. If wonderful things were said, even just the word peace or love, they would get beautiful crystals. Well, we're 70% water. If we only say mean things to ourselves or accept those mean things, then your body reacts to it. Every cell in your body reacts to it. If you say nice things and if you negate the yucky stuff, you become lighter. You become more lighthearted. Stop accepting the mean stuff and negate it with the good stuff. So watch those funny baby videos. Watch those puppy videos. Or as I told you this before, if you have an elastic bracelet, can I see it on here? I'm on the wrong thing for Facebook here. If you snap your bracelet, like, okay, I'm thinking that I'm going to accept these mean thoughts from the mean girl again. No, I'm not. So you snap your bracelet or you think about, okay, that's an audio playing in my head. Eject that audio. Don't accept the mean stuff. Don't accept the yucky stuff. Switch it up. Reframe. So, even sad and horrific times, laughter can come. I was watching an old YouTube video of Mary Tyler Moore. It's a program in the 70s, and there's reruns on television on the old, I don't know, Nickelodeon or one of those things that has Mary Tyler Moore show. Well, she worked at a television station, and there was a program with a clown, and the clown was rubbing people the wrong way sometimes. But anyway, she was at the funeral, and all of a sudden, the guy who was talking, giving a eulogy about the clown, started saying some of the things the clown would do. And Mary Tyler Moore started laughing. When you laugh and you're trying to hold it back because it's like inappropriate, well, the more she would try and hold it back, the harder it was for her to hold it back. Well, that was supposed to be a sad occasion, a funeral. And here she is like cracking up at the things the clown used to do, the things the clown used to say. I've said this story before. My dad died and the family was all around. And right after he died, we started telling the silly stories. When my dad would want something to eat, he'd ask for a sandwich. He never said that word correctly. Could you make me a tuna sandwich? I remember one time we were camping, and my dad was laying down, and my little sister noticed that he had a bald spot in in the center of his head. And my sister asked, "How come there's no hair there, Dad?" And he said, "A mouse ate it." Well, when you're little enough, you believe that a mouse really did eat it, not that he's having a bald spot. We used to watch television on the weekends, and my dad would often take a nap, and he'd watch old movies. And he'd watch these awful movies like The Pod People, where these people from aliens would come and they would like take over your body. I forget if you were in the pod or they were in the pod. Like maybe they were in the pod and then they became you or a clone of you. And we would say, okay, Dad's movies are on. It's like, okay, you might find something else to do because Dad's movies are on and they're not such great movies, but they were laughable. And it was funny to remember them after Dad died. Do you have a time when your family or a friend tickled your funny bone, they did something silly, they did something to make you laugh. I remember after graduating from college, a group of us would get together all the time. And we were going out to dinner at, in San Francisco. The top of the Hyatt had a restaurant that would revolve around. And we were waiting in line for a seat at the restaurant. And we were cracking jokes. We were getting louder and louder. And finally, the hostess came over and said, "Could you please be a little quieter?" It was like this hit that you're not being adult and reserved enough. This is like a fancy restaurant, and you guys are making a lot of noise. She didn't say that, but that's the feeling you got. And the more she talked about it, the harder I was laughing because it's like, okay, we're not being very grown up here. But you know, that was just a time in life, and it was a funny time in life. That same group would have Christmas, but we wouldn't have Christmas at Christmas. We would have Christmas usually in June, July, August, and we'd wear our Christmas sweaters. We'd go out to dinner. People would go, "Why are you wearing Christmas sweaters?" And we would be celebrating Christmas, just our little group. And we would spend the weekend wearing our Christmas sweaters and being noisy. One time we were in a hotel and there was a prom going on in one of the ballrooms at the hotel. And we were laughing, laughing, laughing at the silly presents that we'd given each other. And security came to our room. I guess they thought we were prom kids making too much noise. Well, we weren't prom kids. We were college graduates making too much noise. But when you are laughing, especially when you're with a group of friends, your volume tends to go up, which I don't think we were really interrupting anyone, but someone probably complained because they probably thought it was the prom kids getting rowdy. But it is nice to remember those things. So maybe you could even make a list of the lovely times, the lovely, funny times. And when you're having a bad day, just like step into those moments or just take some time to remember what made you laugh when you were little. What made you laugh when you were working? What made you laugh when you were with your family? What made you laugh when you're with your best friend? Lots of things. And we need to live more in that space of laughter and remembering the laughter than we do in the space of yucky things happening to us. Which would you rather have? Funny or yucky? I choose funny. So if you are having a sad day, go to YouTube and watch the babies laughing. Go to YouTube and watch the silly puppies. There's one I know where, even on television, there's a a lady who goes to different places in the world, and I think it's called Her Favorite Places. Anyway, she got to one place, and the thing she did was go visit a a ranch, I think it was, and they just had a litter of puppies. And the puppies just like crawling all over her, and she's laying down, cracking up because the puppies are crawling all over her. Well, that isn't such a horrendous thing to happen. That's a funny thing that happens. And it probably makes you feel better. Marie mentioned Patch Adams. Patch Adams, what a wonderful guy. He's the one who would wear the red nose, and he worked in the medical field, and he would use laughter to help people get well. So if you can make a friend laugh today or make yourself laugh today, you've done a good thing. And you can also maybe revisit some time that made you laugh. Be more lighthearted. We hold things so seriously, and we are in our intellect all the time, thinking, thinking, thinking. So try to be in your heart space today. Try to be in good emotions and remember the silly things, remember the happy things, remember the things that brought you joy. So that's my suggestion for today. Find something, some memory of laughter and relive it. And if you're good at telling jokes, then tell jokes to your friends or tell them silly stories. So that's my suggestion for today. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you next Wednesday. Have a great day. Bye.